how do you think this works? Do you think I call
Let me just go back to my group chat with him.
Yeah, there's thousands of packages. You live in like, wherever you live. How do I know you're UPS guy? Like, do you think this is how the world works still? Yeah, sure, no problem. Tell your bank account guy to just send it into my other account, not this one. Call your credit card company and do that really quickly. This isn't how the fucking world works, you crazy son of a bitch. Of course, I can't tell this guy anything. Like, it's productized you. The productized delivery. That's why it's so cheap to deliver stuff. If you want it in special spots, you got to do something special. Yeah. Give the guy a gift, put a little note on there.
Put a sign outside of your front door.
Yeah, right. And then when the holiday season comes around, you probably want to tip your delivery guy because you want special things out of it.
Exactly.
And so, we did for one free return, one free exchange, and we'd be like, hey, this is it. But and then if you did this on the second order as well, we're like, no, we're enforcing this policy. Yeah. If you did it on the fifth order, we're like, okay, great. You've been a loyal customer. We made money from you. We're happy to make exceptions.
Right.
What do you think of that?
Would you track, so as you're doing this, I think I would say follow a similar rule. Look at the order behavior, the order patterns. Would you ever track profit per customer and decide okay, if we are, if let's say, somebody's made 20 orders and so we're, over $100 in profit from the single customer, we're okay to send something free versus okay, this person's placed 3 orders and this is the second time they're complaining. We haven't turned a profit on them necessarily, so we're not going to honor this.
Good question. A little bit, but I think the answer was just it was overall revenue. It's hard to do that with individual orders because you can't be okay, this person's purchased this item, and this item. Customer service, this person's profitable. Send them. It's a little bit hard. So we were just look, if you spend a certain amount with us, we'd tag you as a super customer and we'd ship you stuff. But it was but you're right. If there were, if you would purchase 4 times from us and had 3 problems, you might be tagged as a super customer if you spent enough. And then we'd be like, fuck. So there was a little bit of we did one of the things that we'd always try and do is empower our customer service people to make the right decision. I was always whatever you think is right is right. Try and put yourself in those shoes. Not just don't ask me, but also you can make here are the general parameters. You can make exceptions to the rule. I remember telling our customer service team, I was British ETA, which was this terrorist organization in England, once tried to kill Margaret Thatcher by blowing up a bridge. Mm-hmm. And they missed and the bridge blew up, but she wasn't on it or they weren't able to blow it up. I forgot what it was. And she was safely returned to 10 Downing. And they called up 10 Downing and they're like, you were lucky. She didn't, Margaret Thatcher didn't die. You were lucky. You have to be lucky every time. We have to be lucky only once. Yeah. And I was like, look, we have to be lucky every single time. You guys have to make the right decision every single time because our brand is you're the forward-facing element of our brand. Every time you interact with somebody, it is an interaction where you could damage our brand. And you should think about that. And you should try not to do things. Even when people are assholes to us, we can't be assholes back to them. When they're outrageous, we have to be calm. And so I tried to empower them and say, hey, look, you can make the right decision and you can do what you think is right. Think about if you were a third party hearing this and you're this person that had 3 problems over 3 orders and wants 3 exchanges, probably people would agree that, hey, you don't have to constantly cater to them. Yeah. But this person's ordered 10 times, probably want to bend over backwards to make sure that we do something excellent for them.
Totally.